age-old question. It's something we talked about here before on the show. However, a new study recently delved deep into the ever-changing connection between sex and love in America.
And who other than Charles Divins from our sister show, The Daily Buzz, joining us now for another edition of Mail Call. Ching, ching,
We didn't even plan that, but it worked.
Welcome, Charles.
Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Having you. We'll have cocktails for you next time, we promise.
Please do that.
Okay. Keep missing our cocktail Fridays. But okay, first, there's no surprise that online dating is a growing means of meeting that special someone. But when it comes to asking someone out, apparently a text message dinner date invite is becoming more the norm. Acceptable or not to ask someone out over text? What do you guys think?
It depends on how old you are. You know, I mean, this is 2013. Some people, you know, communicate by text, by Twitter. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's okay to kind of initially start the conversation via text, but I think a follow-up phone call is a good idea.
I think a phone call is kind of standard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that I would do this unless I was dating someone who was 17, which I do not.
Yes.
So, I mean, I just think, you know, people communicate differently.
I talked about that yesterday, though. Guys would get a lot further if they actually just picked up the phone.
It's true, yeah, because so much gets lost in translation in a text, and people get a little confused as far as, well, what are you really looking for? What are you after? Or
unless, of course, your emoji skills are on point.
Yes, exactly.
Then you're good.
It's difficult.
Okay, the survey also revealed 40 to 45% of men and women believe it's appropriate to kiss a new partner on dates 2 through 5. What about kissing on the first date? Acceptable?
People really count? Like, oh, is this the third
Of course
date?
it's acceptable.
Yeah, first date, it's okay.
If
you're feeling it, go for it.
Like
I
make-out
completely
session?
agree.
If you're lucky.
That's where it's going.
If you're lucky. I mean, come on.
You know I love a good makeout session.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well, you
Why
know.
wait?
Why wait, right?
It's just a kiss.
Yeah, but you know, it's a gateway to other things. If it's a really
that's
good
your
makeout
choice.
But remember, you
That's
said
your
the tip
choice.
is to not shave your legs so you don't go
Yes,
far. And I say wear
exactly.
granny panties so you don't, it doesn't go
So
any
it
further than
stops.
kissing. That
Yeah.
way
Doesn't
you don't
stop
want them to see
anything.
those.
Yeah, granny panties we don't see. Shaving your legs just go down against the hair.
go
It's like
against
a
the
smooth. It's like a smooth. Anyway. All right. You know, also the survey found between 30 and 40%
I can't.
said it's okay to have sex on dates 2 through 5, while far fewer people answered the first date was appropriate for sex. We're talking sex now. We're talking intercourse. First date. That's probably something you don't want to talk about, right?
I think, you know,
Not the first date.
No, I don't think the first date, unless it's all about just sex. If that's what that relationship is about for you, then
In
that's
which case,
fine.
there's no need for a date then. That's just a booty
That's just a
call.
booty
It's just a
call.
booty call.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it just depends on how far you want to take the date, or if you're serious about getting into a relationship with that person. Especially for guys, I think they need some mystery.
Yeah.
How many dates? How many days do you think is acceptable?
I would wait at least a couple months. That's
a couple
usually
months.
where I go.
So I would have to call you once a month and then get on my third.
Once a month?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, it needs
What
to
is
be
it?
consistent dating for a couple months
couple
before I
months.
can
Okay.
feel
I think
comfortable
because
opening my purse.
a lot of the books say that really hooks a guy to kind of keep
Make him wait.
waiting for a while. And what is it? Steve Harvey says 90 days.
90 days.
Now I don't know if I can wait 90 days.
That's never going to happen. Well, you know,
time.
half the respondents said sex somewhere between the first and 9th date was correct.
Okay,
I think that's about
it's
right.
good.
That's
Maybe more
doable.
toward the 9th date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, people were having sex a lot more this time nowadays. Back in the day, it was like
Yeah.
40% of people had sex in their 20s. Now it's like 70%.
Yeah.
Sexual revolution
everybody.
is real.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
90 days not going to happen.
I think you have to have that conversation, though, if you're serious about getting into a relationship, whether you want to be monogamous with someone or not. If you're going to go that extra step and have sex, it kind of depends on where you are in your life. But I think it's good to have that combo and say, look, I'd like to be in a relationship, and if I'm going to have sex with you, then we need to be monogamous.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let them know, Dre.
Yeah.
We're switching gears a little bit. I'm just saying.
Talking it out.
I'm rubbing off on her. Can you tell? Can you tell?
Totally.
When you're not online, though, trying to meet people and you're actually going out with people, there's always that awkward icebreaker moment,
Yes.
aka the pickup line, right? So Yahoo Shine has talked to some women to find some of the most hilarious and creative pickup lines. Here are a few of the more creative and ridiculous. What you got?
As sweet as cake. Your lips must be made of icing because you look so sweet. Yep, this one's a real one. A man said
Whack.
this to a woman while she walked down the New York City streets. Did it work? She said no. Did it make her smile? She said definitely.
Sweet as cake. That sounds like too much to say.
It's a lot. It's a lot to
Just like
process.
cake and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, you know.
It's
What's
like,
the
now I'm just
icing?
hungry.
Yeah,
What?
exactly. Where's the cupcake shop?
Exactly.
I don't know.
All right, well, a nod was enough, right? He just
this
looked
is
at me
good.
and nodded his head for me to come over, said Gladys Diaz of her husband and how he picked her up. How did she respond to his confident yet subtle gesture? I shook mine and made the same gesture. He walked over and the rest is history. They've been married for 14 years. Is a head nod enough?
That's how it's done.
I love the head nod.
That's how it's done.
You're right.
Like,
Just be
over
like,
here, you down? Yes.
Can we get a Charles Divins example of a head?
Yeah.
So it's like.
Oh, seriously. I can't take it.
That's not fair. Done. It's different when you do it. Everybody don't look like that. I'm just saying.
But it's true. It's confident. It's sort of, and women like that. They want the guy to say.
And there's no fluff there. He's not trying to put on any pretense. He's just like, I'm interested in you. Come here, talk to me.
Yeah.
Simple.
You got to use your legs. What about? All right, last one. My booger. If you were a booger, I would pick you first.
Come on.
Why did this man think this would work? Because it didn't. It's not even funny.
That's just nasty.
I can't even call it hilarious. It's really gross.
It's so gross. A little Windex. Do you have Windex in your pants? Because
I can't.
I can't even finish that one.
Pick-up line you guys have heard. Just give me the best.
The best is just when it's conversational. When it just,
okay, what's the corniest? What's the corniest you've heard?
I think I've said this before, but when the guy threw his cell phone at me in the mall and he threw it and was like, "Put your number in there," and I'm like, "What?
Really?
Get your life." I stepped over it and kept going.
I've got the one where do you have any Irish in you? Oh, really? No.
Oh, Dre.
I got that
always
one.
get the good ones. That's nasty.
All right, Charles, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, good times. Stay with us. Life Plus Shopping returns in just a moment.